How you going, Josh? It's awesome to have you a part of the buzz today.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, and thanks for your massive studio audience welcoming. Oh, thanks everyone. Thanks so much. Oh, appreciate it. I'm really glad to be here.
Love it. Yeah, that's all the fans we have. That's fantastic. Now, Josh, it is International Smoke and Mirrors Day. Now, did you know this day existed?
I'm embarrassed to say I did not know that. No.
Neither did we.
Neither did we. That's okay. But smoke and mirrors, is it still used in magic? Still using it?
Look, I'm sure there's still a few mirrors, and there's definitely a lot of smoke if you see a big illusion show like Vegas show. I think what it's in reference to is using our senses against us, what we see and then what we assume we're seeing. Is what that's in reference to. Like a really classic example in like a science experiment is where you see a car, and when you look at that car, you assume there's a whole car there, but really it's only the shell of the front of a car. But our brain, fills all the pieces to assume, there must be a whole car there when really there isn't. So that's what that's what it's kind of in reference to. Like in movies, they'll build a set, but they'll build it just enough that you can see from the camera's point of view, but really there's more going on. So I think that's what it's kind of what it means. And so I'm sure a lot of that is used so that, we can enjoy the illusion even better on TV and things like that.
And so I want to ask, how far back does magic go, like the history of magic? This has been around since like the 1800s. Do you know how far back it goes?
Yeah, it's really crazy. It goes so far back that even back in the Egyptian times, I think it was like 2700 BC, there's recollections of like the Egyptians. There was an Egyptian named Didi, and he's the earliest ever recorded of doing like the cups and balls. So it really goes...
Oh, the cup and balls, kind of like my apple and cup I just did.
Yes.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, you got some Egyptian magic going on.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So,
I didn't even find my apple. I think I did pretty well.
So it goes back so far. And I think people had to be careful how they claimed what they were doing. A lot of the times they would say they were conjurers, because if you said you were doing magic, you could be burned at the stake.
Yep. So for you, what do you actually do? Like, what's the difference between what you do? Street performing, roving, magic mingle, like there's all different aspects of it all, yes? What do you do?
Yeah, there's a lot of facets. At the end of the day, I just love magic, but in the different ways that I do it as a career, either I'll be on stage performing for an audience. Very typically for me would be a corporate audience, like an awards night or a special dinner or something like that. And then the other way is roving magic, which is essentially close-up magic where you're right in front of what's happening. It's normally done for small groups at a time. And it's very popular to have it like at a wedding reception or a dinner event or a private function. And that's really fun because now the magic you're seeing, there can be no smoke and mirrors because you're right up close. You're seeing everything you're seeing. There's no special stage. So for me, that's the kind of magic I fell in love with when I first started, which is...
And that's like the corporate style performing where you go and mingle with the crowd and you have like an actual show. Production.
I'm interested to know if you've actually failed in one of these settings.
We've all failed at some point, yeah.
It's not really a fail, it's just a lesson how not to do that again, right?
Well, look, early on when I was learning how to perform on stage, I had one incident that I talk about anytime this gets brought up, and it's basically I had an egg. I was like, I'm going to do this great illusion with an egg, but I had the bright idea of starting the show with that egg in my jacket pocket, and only... You can imagine only 5 minutes into that show, I break the egg accidentally.
It wasn't a boiled egg.
No, this is a raw egg. And I break it and I don't know it's broken yet. I put my hand in my pocket and I just feel a handful of yolk. And I'm like, I've got 40 more minutes of a show to do, but I got to take this jacket off. So now I'm like sweating bullets. This was like very early on in my career when I was like, it was for like a charity event. I promise I'm much better now, guys. But yeah, don't.
No, that's great.
Yeah, no eggs anymore.
I'm sure it's good to be able to come from humble roots where you do make mistakes as you grow, because that's all of us, right? So it's part of growing and learning. But where can people find you now, Josh? Where can we see you perform, hire you to perform? What's available?
Yeah, look, I mean, I link everything back to my website, which is joshnorbido.com. But I also have a podcast called The Magic Guys, which is on YouTube and Spotify and all those normal places you'd hear it, where me and another magician, we basically talk about our life as a magician, give you a bit of behind the scenes of not how tricks work, but just, what it's like trying to make it as a performer, or stories that happen at events, things that just wild that you wouldn't think happen.
Are you on TikTok? I learnt my magic from TikTok.
Did you really? Wow,
yeah.
that's
it's a big place for magic. TikTok. There's a lot of magic on there.
There is.
Just got to figure out which ones are.
Yeah, I'm not sure. She was a bit of a harsh critic on my tricks earlier.
Yeah, but I made my apple juice. You pulled a bit of dragon out of your hat. Come on, I was pretty surprised. Josh, do you have a rabbit?
Do I have a rabbit? In Queensland, you do need a license to get a rabbit. Or
be a magician.
And look, I always took the advice to never work with children or live animals in my shows, or eggs now as well. But I kind of stick with that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. If you ever need a good little prop there, my bearded dragon was really well behaved during the entire performance.
Oh my God, he needs like his own little cape thing or like a little magician hat.
I'd love a dragon. I would not say no to a dragon. That's for sure.
All right, Josh. Well, you need to check out our socials because we're gonna pop a video up of Shane the Sly pulling out a bearded dragon out of her hat, which I actually was quite impressed by.
I love it. I'm going to check it out. Absolutely.
Fantastic. We'll also put a link up to where you can find Josh online as well and see some of the performance. And Josh, you also do keynote speaking as well. I'm going to put a bit of information up there on the page. You can go check it out.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks everyone at home. And,
thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you so much, Josh. I'm going to go listen to your podcast as well, and I'll put a link to that up onto the page.
Magic.
Oh, that's
great.
Stay
tuned, everyone. We'll go off to sport now. You are listening to The Monday Buzz.